Did you have any idea in your directorial debut that you were creating what many have called a perfect movie and perhaps the most beloved sports movie of all time?
Well, again, those are very kind words. I don't remember hearing people call it a perfect movie, but I'll take it. But no, in fact, I had no idea because our schedule was so short. We shot the whole thing. We used over 25,000 extras in our film. We shot it in 36 days. And I remember one night watching dailies late at night in a hotel dining room, which was our screening room. And I got up in the middle of the dailies and walked to my little office in that motel. And Angelo came in and he goes, "Why did you leave? What's wrong?" And I said, "Well," I said, "we had this dream of making this movie for 18 years." And I said, "I think I'm screwing it up. I'm just operating on fumes. I mean, I'm exhausted and I hope I haven't screwed things up, you know?" The only thing that I took out of that was that I had never seen anybody do anything quite like that before. And I thought that might be an advantage to us. And I think in a way it was.
How are you able to capture Indiana the way you did? My takeaway, I always just think about the sunlight glinting. And I'm just curious about your approach. Like, how are you able to put that kiss on it the way you did?
I think it's pretty simple. Growing up in Indiana, you know, that was where I lived. Those were the fields, those were the woods, those were the small towns and the people in the small towns. I knew all of them, you know. If you had given that to another director, would come from another culture, another part of the country, they probably would have had a very different take on it. But I think that everything that Angelo and I put on the screen was from our standpoint was as honest as we could be.
Why does Hoosiers stand the test of time?
I don't know. I don't know. Well, first of all, Angelo created a beautiful story. And it's the old saying, if it ain't on the page, it ain't on the stage, you know, and I had to take that script and turn it into something very meaningful and realize what he had written and maybe even elevate it if possible. And I'll tell you one thing, I never could have directed that film ever, even though it was my first feature film, without having cut my teeth on being part of the group that started Hill Street Blues and directing St. Elsewhere and Miami Vice. Those were the three hardest shows to do on TV, without question. And when you have to learn fast, and that's where I started directing. Stephen Bochco, bless his heart, gave me my first opportunity. And you know, to do those shows, man, you've got to think on your feet like crazy. And that's what I ended up having to do, you know, shooting Hoosiers. If I had not had that background, trust me, it wouldn't be a revered film. It wouldn't.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show live weekdays from 12 to 3 p.m. Eastern on Roku Sports Channel in the U.S. Search Rich Eisen Show on your Roku device for daily replays.